All right, so in an effort to see how many angry comments, emails, and texts I can get from this, I'm gonna go ahead and make this video. I get asked this question all the time. Hey Jeff, where should I look at moving? Should I move to Winston-Salem or should I move to Greensboro? Which one is better, Winston-Salem or Greensboro? And I'm gonna give you my take as someone that moved here not quite 3 years ago, but have a lot of experience in both towns. I live on the Winston-Salem side. I spend a lot of time here, not quite equal time in Greensboro, but almost. I work a lot in Greensboro. The real estate office I manage is in Greensboro. I help people buy and sell houses in both towns. So I have a good idea of each individual, and it's something I think is gonna be a little bit unique as someone, 3 years to the area versus someone that has been here their whole life. Because if you ask 100 people, 50 are probably gonna say Winston-Salem's better, 50 are gonna say Greensboro's better, and it kinda goes along the lines of where they're from or if they've lived here a long time. They just kind of get in that state of mind where this is better than that. And there's not a tension among it, but there is something that I've noticed people have some kind of strong opinions on it. So let's go ahead and go there. We're gonna talk about this in a few different sections where I'm gonna pick winners in the overall vibe or feel of the area. We're gonna talk about shopping. We'll talk about restaurants, places to grab something to eat or a drink. And then we're gonna talk about the overall economy and the jobs outlook. And then all those together will give the overall. At the end, we'll tally those up and we'll see if we can come up with a winner. So first I gotta tell you just a couple things real quick with things they have in common. Schools. There are good schools in both areas. There's highly ranked and highly sought after schools in Winston-Salem. There's highly sought after and highly ranked schools in Greensboro as well. I've made a couple of videos about that, so please take a look at some of those, or if you have questions, just reach out. The other thing they both have in common is lots and lots of really great things to do in the outdoors. If you're someone that likes that, both places will be really great. There are a ton of things to do. Winston-Salem has lots of greenways, trails, and parks. They have Quarry Park, which is just beautiful. Greensboro, again, has lots of trails, parks, things like that. They have the Greensboro Arboretum, which is just beautiful as well. So outdoor stuff, they're both very similar. But let's get into the things where I think we can pick some winners. All right, the first one is their overall feel or vibe of the city itself. Like, what is it like and kind of which is better? And this one for me, surprisingly, was kind of easy. Greensboro has a really cool vibe. It's got some international feel to it. It's got some bigger buildings, but it's a little bit more, I don't know, kind of suburban or plain feeling, where Winston-Salem is more funky, eclectic. It's a little more artsy. Winston-Salem kind of reminds me of a small miniature version of Austin. It's just a little weird. It's just a little quirky, and I love that about that place. So the overall feel and vibe was the easy one for me. That winner is Winston-Salem. All right, so Winston-Salem won, Greensboro, goose eggs. Let's go to shopping. All right, so shopping first, they both have some similarities there as also. They both have a Costco, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, like your staple stores and stuff like that you'll want to go to. In Winston-Salem, they have Publix grocery stores, which are really, really popular, but they're going to be getting one of those in Greensboro as well. Publix is a good grocery store, so that's going to be really close. Greensboro, you have the Friendly Center, which has a lot of nice higher end shops. It's just a nicer overall area for shopping. It's got an Apple store, where Winston-Salem has Hanes Mall. And Hanes Mall has kind of gone the way of a lot of malls. It used to be really big, really popular back in the day, but through whatever, Amazon or whatever's going on, it's kind of has seen better days. So it really is not what it used to be. So in the shopping, a very, very clear advantage, in my opinion, goes to Greensboro. All right, so 1-1, Greensboro and Winston-Salem. The next one we're going to talk about is restaurants, and this one was a close one. Both places have a really good restaurant scene. Greensboro has actually my favorite overall restaurant of all in the Triad, Machete, which is a really great, creative, kind of special occasion restaurant that they just do some really cool food at. Winston-Salem has some of the best Neapolitan pizza I've ever had at Mission Pizza. Very traditional Italian. Winston-Salem also they just have a food hall that opened, a new steakhouse is coming, some other cool restaurants that are opening. But really what sets that apart is I was talking to a restaurant owner in Greensboro, and if you've seen my Instagram, jeff.valentino, by the way, you'll see that, food, restaurants, cooking, wine, stuff like that, those are some of my favorite things to do and talk about. So I was talking to a restaurant owner in Greensboro, and he put it to me like this. He said, Winston-Salem has a really unique, eclectic food scene where they really embrace private owners and mom and pop restaurants, the non-chain places, and where Greensboro, they kind of celebrate really hard when they got a Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. So for me, that was kind of the key difference in there. Winston-Salem really supports the mom and pop and independent restaurant scene. There's a lot of cool pop-ups and a lot of different restaurant and food things that are going on there. So Winston-Salem was a close winner. Greensboro has some great places to eat and drink, but again, picking a winner there, I'm gonna go ahead and pick Winston-Salem. They also have some great places to go and grab a cocktail or a glass of wine too. The next one is the economy and the jobs outlook. And first I'll say about that is North Carolina as a whole, the economy is going really well here. And just doing some research for this video, I found that we're about where we were or just ahead of where we were pre-pandemic levels. The economy overall here is going great. It's going really well in both towns, but there are some key differences. Now, Winston-Salem was clearly branded for quite a while as the city of arts and innovation, and there is a definite buzz around that. There are a lot of tech and medical startups here. There's a real entrepreneurial spirit that goes on in Winston-Salem that I've talked about in other videos where they really support small businesses. There's really a spirit of let's do this, let's reinvent, let's reimagine, and keep moving forward. But Greensboro has that going for it as well. It's just maybe not as well known as Winston-Salem. So I was just reading Greensboro High Point from 2020 to 2022 ranks in the top 20 in the country for new business startups, which is amazing. I didn't know that. So there's a real entrepreneurial spirit that's going on as well in Greensboro. And when you couple that with the coming soon video I made talking about the different things coming to Greensboro, things like Boom, supersonic aircrafts, Toyota making their battery plant, Amazon distribution center, and a lot of other exciting things coming to Greensboro, I have to give the edge in a surprise victory in this one to Greensboro is going to win the economy and jobs. Now I will say about this, asterisk, I know plenty of people and have plenty of clients that live in one town and commute to the other. Happens all the time. It's a really common thing for people that live here. So it's not something really crazy, unheard of. If I live in Greensboro, I have to, I can't work in Winston-Salem. It's not really like that. It happens all the time. But if I'm gonna pick a winner in that one, it's gonna be Greensboro. All right, so just to recap, we have Winston-Salem won the overall vibe and feel of the city. Greensboro won for shopping. Winston-Salem snuck out a narrow victory in the restaurant and food and drink scene, with Greensboro with a narrow victory in the economy and jobs front. So let's say overall, if I had to pick which one is going to be better, Winston-Salem or Greensboro, which one should I move to? And the winner is, it's up to you. I'm sorry. It's really up to you. I think 95 out of 100 people would be happy in either town. I really do think that. They're only about 20 or 30 minutes apart. You can get to them really simply. I chose Winston-Salem when comparing the two because the overall vibe was really important to me. An independent restaurant scene was really important to me. Schools were really important to me. Now, Greensboro, as we just discussed, has a lot of those in common, but a couple of those areas I gave slight edges to in Winston-Salem. The other things that pushed me over was Winston-Salem's a little bit more varied terrain. It's a little bit closer to the mountains. So it's just a little bit more interesting as far as topography goes. It's also, like I said, closer to the mountains. I prefer mountains over beach. So being able to get to the mountains, 20 or 30 minutes quicker is nicer. It's also closer to wine country, which I love going to as many times as I can. I just love to go out there and spend an afternoon or just a couple hours and just kind of relax in the scenery and take in some of that view. So that's why I picked Winston-Salem. Greensboro is great. I'm there all the time. There's a lot of cool things that are going on there. What I would suggest if you're coming into town for the first time, get an idea based on this video. Look and see where you're liking more houses. Do some other research. I've made pros and cons videos on both towns as well. Check those out and then just kind of visit. See what you like and you'll kind of get that feel. Like, where am I connecting with more? What's kind of more, where are the opportunities better, or where I'm going to work, or where do I have family closer and things like that. But overall, I think it's going to be up to you. I can't just pick a winner. even though I kind of did, I guess, when I moved to Winston-Salem, but I think most people are going to be happy with either place. If you're thinking about buying or selling real estate in Winston-Salem, Greensboro, or High Point, or anywhere in the Triad, I'd love to be a resource for you. You can call or text me at 336-837-5924, or you can email me at jeff@govalentino.com. Thanks.